This week's Torah portion is entitled Mattot, Massei, which translates to Tribes, Journeys of. The Torah portion is taken from Numbers chapter 30, verse 1 through 36, verse 13. The Haftarah is from Jeremiah chapter 2, verses 4 to 28, also chapter 3, verse 4. And the apostolic portion is taken from the book of Mark chapter 11, verses 12 through 25. Numbers 30, verse 1 through 36, verse 13. And Moshe spoke to the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the word which Jehovah has commanded. When a man vows a vow to Jehovah, or swears an oath to bind himself by some agreement, he does not break his word. He does according to all that comes out of his mouth. Or if a woman vows a vow to Jehovah, and binds herself by some agreement, while in her father's house in her youth, and her father hears her vow and the agreement by which she has bound herself, and her father has kept silent towards her, then all her vows shall stand, and every agreement with which she has bound herself stands. But if her father forbids her on the day that he hears, then none of her vows, nor her agreements by which she has bound herself stand. And Jehovah pardons her, because her father has forbidden her. But if she at all belongs to a husband, while bound by her vows, or by a rash utterance from her lips by which she bound herself, and her husband hears it, and has kept silent towards her on the day that he hears, then her vows shall stand, and her agreements by which she bound herself do stand. But if her husband forbids her on the day that he hears it, and he has nullified her vow which she vowed, and the rash utterance of her lips by which she bound herself, and Jehovah pardons her. But any vow of a widow or a divorced woman by which she has bound herself stands against her. And if she vowed in her husband's house, or bound herself by an agreement with an oath, and her husband hears it, and has kept silent towards her and did not forbid her, then all her vows shall stand, and every agreement by which she bound herself stands. But if her husband clearly nullified them on the day he heard them, then whatever came from her lips concerning her vows, or concerning the agreement binding her, it does not stand. Her husband has nullified them, and Jehovah pardons her. Every vow and every binding oath to afflict her be, let her husband confirm it, or let her husband nullify it. But if her husband is altogether silent at her from day to day, then he confirms all her vows, or all the agreements that bind her. He confirms them, because he kept silent towards her on the day that he heard. But if he nullifies them after he has heard, then he shall bear her crookedness. These are the laws which Jehovah commanded Moshe, between a man and his wife, and between a father and his daughter in her youth, in her father's house. And Jehovah spoke to Moshe, saying, Take vengeance for the children of Israel on the Midianites. After that you are to be gathered to your people. And Moshe spoke to the people, saying, Arm some of yourselves for the campaign, and let them go against the Midianites, to take vengeance for Jehovah on Midian. Send 1,000 from each tribe to all the tribes of Israel for the campaign. So there were supplied from the tribes of Israel 1,000 from each tribe, 12,000 armed ones for the campaign. And Moshe sent them on the campaign, 1,000 from each tribe, them and Phinehas, son of Eleazar the priest, on the campaign, with the set-apart utensils and the trumpets for sounding in his hand. And they fought against the Midianites, as Jehovah commanded Moshe, and slew all the males. And they slew the sovereigns of Midian with the rest of those who were pierced, Ewi, and Rechem, and Sur, and Hur, and Reba, the 5 sovereigns of Midian. And they slew Balaam, son of Beor, with the sword. And the sons of Israel took all the women of Midian captive, with their little ones, and took as spoil all their livestock and all their possessions. And they burned with fire all the cities where they dwelt, and all their settlements. And they took all the spoil and all the booty, both of man and beast. And they brought the captives and the booty and the spoil to Moshe, and to Eleazar the priest, and to the congregation of the children of Israel, to the camp in the desert plains of Moab by the Yarden of Yericho. And Moshe and Eleazar the priest, and all the leaders of the congregation, went to meet them outside the camp. But Moshe was wroth with the officers of the army, with the commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds, who had come from the campaign. And Moshe said to them, Have you kept all the women alive? Look, there were the ones who caused the children of Israel, through the word of Balaam, to trespass against Jehovah in the matter of Peor, and there was a plague among the congregation of Jehovah. And now, slay every male among the little ones, and every woman who has known a man by lying with a man you shall slay. But keep alive for yourselves all the female children who have not known a man by lying with a man. And you, camp outside the camp 7 days. Whoever has slain any being, and whoever has touched any slain, cleanse yourself and your captives on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, and cleanse every garment, and every object of leather, and all the work of goat's hair, and every object of wood. And Eleazar the priest said to the men of the campaign who went to the battle, This is the law of the Torah, which Jehovah commanded Moshe. Only the gold, and the silver, the bronze, the iron, the tin, and the lead. Every object that passes through fire, you put through fire, and it shall be clean. Only let it be cleansed with the water for uncleanness. And whoever does not pass through fire, you pass through water. And you shall wash your garments on the 7th day and be clean, and afterwards come into the camp. And Jehovah spoke to Moshe, saying, Count up the plunder that was taken, of man and of beast, you and Eleazar the priest, and the heads of the fathers of the congregation. And you shall divide the plunder into 2 parts, between those who took part in the battle, who went out on the campaign, and all the congregation. And set aside a levy for Jehovah on the men of battle who went out on the campaign, 1 out of every 500, of man and of cattle, and of the donkeys and of the sheep. Take it from their half, and give it to Eleazar the priest as a contribution to Jehovah. And from the children of Israel's half you shall take 1 of every 50, of man, of the cattle, of the donkeys, of the sheep, of all the livestock, and give them to the Levites guarding the duty of the dwelling place of Jehovah. And Moshe and Eleazar the priest did as Jehovah commanded Moshe. And the booty remaining from the plunder, which the people of the campaign had taken, was 675,000 sheep, and 72,000 cattle, 61,000 donkeys, and 32,000 human beings in all, of women who had not known a man by lying with a man. And the half, the portion for those who went on to the campaign, was in number 337,500 sheep. And the levy unto Jehovah of the sheep was 675. And the cattle were 36,000, of which the levy unto Jehovah was 72. And the donkeys were 30,500, of which the levy unto Jehovah was 61. And the human beings were 16,000, of which the levy unto Jehovah was 32 beings. So Moshe gave the levy which was a contribution unto Jehovah to Eleazar the priest, as Jehovah commanded Moshe. And for the children of Israel's half, which Moshe divided from the men who campaigned. Now the half belonging to the congregation was 337,500 sheep, 36,000 cattle, and 30,500 donkeys, and 16,000 human beings. Then Moshe took from the children of Israel's half, 1 out of every 50, drawn from man and beast, and gave them to the Levites, who guarded the duty of the dwelling place of Jehovah, as Jehovah commanded Moshe. And the officers who were over thousands of the campaigns, the commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds, came near to Moshe. And they said to Moshe, "Your servants have taken account of the fighting men under our command, and not a man of us is missing. So we have brought an offering to Yahovah, what every man found of ornaments and gold, armlets and bracelets, and signet rings, and earrings and necklaces, to make atonement for ourselves before Yahovah." And Moshe and Eleazar the priest received the gold from them, all the fashioned ornaments, and all the gold of the offering that they presented to Yahovah, from the commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds, was 16,750 shekels. The men of the campaign had taken spoil, every man for himself. And Moshe and Eleazar the priest received the gold from the commanders of thousands and of hundreds, and brought it into the tent of meeting as a remembrance for the children of Israel before Yahovah. And the children of Reuben and the children of Gad had much livestock, a large number. And they saw the land of Yazer and the land of Gilad, and saw that the place was a place for livestock. So the children of Gad and the children of Reuben came and spoke to Moshe, and to Eleazar the priest, and to the leaders of the congregation, saying, Adaroth, and Davon, and Yazer, and Nimrah, and Heshbon, and Elale, and Sebam, and Nebo, and Beon, the land which Yahovah had smitten before the congregation of Israel, is a land for livestock, and your servants have livestock. And they said, If we have found favor in your eyes, let this land be given to your servants as a possession, and do not let us pass over the Jordan. And Moshe said to the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben, Are your brothers to go into the battle, while you yourselves sit here? Now why do you discourage the heart of the children of Israel from passing over into the land which Yahovah has given them? Thus your fathers did when I sent them away from Kadesh Barnea to see the land. For when they went up to the Wadi Eshcol and saw the land, they discouraged the heart of the children of Israel, so that they did not go into the land which Yahovah had given them. Then the displeasure of Yahovah burned on that day, and he swore an oath, saying, Not one of the men who came up from Mitzrayim, from 20 years old and above, is to see the land of which I swore to Abraham, Yitzhak, and Jacob, because they did not follow me completely, except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, and Yeshua, son of Nun, for they have followed Yahovah completely. So the displeasure of Yahovah burned against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness 40 years, until all the generation that had done evil in the eyes of Yahovah was destroyed. And see, you have risen in your father's place, an increase of men, sinners, to add still more to the burning displeasure of Yahovah against Israel. For if you turn away from following him, he shall once again leave them in the wilderness, and you shall destroy all these people. Then they came near to him and said, Let us build sheep enclosures here for our livestock, and cities for our little ones. But let ourselves be armed, hastening before the children of Israel, until we have brought them to their place. And our little ones shall dwell in the walled cities because of the inhabitants of the land. We shall not return to our homes until every one of the children of Israel has received his inheritance. For we shall not inherit with them on the other side of the Jordan and beyond, because our inheritance has fallen to us on this eastern side of the Jordan. And Moshe said to them, If you make this promise, if you arm yourselves before Yahovah for battle, and all your armed ones pass over the Jordan before Yahovah, until he has driven out his enemies from before him, and the land has been subdued before Yahovah, then afterward you shall return, and be guiltless before Yahovah and before Israel. And this land shall be your possession before Yahovah. But if you do not do so, then see, you shall sin against Yahovah, and know, your sin is going to find you out. Build cities for your little ones, and enclosures for your sheep, and do what you have promised. And the children of Gad and the children of Reuben spoke to Moshe, saying, Your servants are going to do as my master commands. Our little ones, our wives, our flocks, and all our livestock are going to be there in the cities of Gilad. But your servants are passing over, every armed one of the army, before Yehovah, to battle, as my master says. And Moshe gave command concerning them to Eleazar the priest, to Yehoshua son of Nun, and to the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel. And Moshe said to them, If the children of Gad and the children of Reuben pass over the Jordan with you, every man armed for battle before Yehovah, and the land has been subdued before you, then you shall give them the land of Gilad as a possession. But if they do not pass over armed with you, they shall have possessions among you in the land of Canaan. Then the children of Gad and the children of Reuben answered, saying, As Yehovah has said to your servants, so we do. We ourselves are passing over armed before Yehovah into the land of Canaan, but the possession of our inheritance remains with us beyond the Jordan. So Moshe gave to the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben, and to half the tribe of Manasseh, son of Joseph, the reign of Sihon, covering sovereign of the Amorites, and the reign of Og, sovereign of Bashan, the land with its cities within the borders, and the cities of land round about. And the children of Gad built Dibon, and Ataroth, and Aroer, and Atroth, and Shophan, and Yezer, and Yogvahah, and Beth Nimrah, and Beth Haran, walled cities, and enclosures for sheep. And the children of Reuben built Heshbon, and Elaleh, and Kirthaim, Nebo, and Baal-meon, the names being changed, and Shibmah, and they gave other names to the cities which they built. And the sons of Machir, son of Manasseh, went to Gilad and took it, and dispossessed the Amorites who were in it. So Moshe gave Gilad to Machir, son of Manasseh, and he dwelt in it. And Yair, son of Manasseh, went and took its small towns, and called them Haworth Yair. And Noba went and took Kenath and its villages, and he called it Noba, after his own name. These are the departures of the children of Israel, who went out of the land of Mitzrayim by their divisions, under the hand of Moshe and Aharon. And Moshe wrote down the starting points of their departures at the command of Yehovah, and these are their departures according to their starting points. So they departed from Ramesses in the first month, on the 15th day of the first month. On the morrow of the Passover, the children of Israel went out with boldness before the eyes of all the Mitzrites. And the Mitzrites were burying all their firstborn, whom Yehovah had smitten among them. Also on their mighty ones Yehovah had executed judgments. Then the children of Israel departed from Ramesses and camped at Succoth. And they departed from Succoth and camped at Etham, which is on the edge of the wilderness. And they departed from Etham and turned back to Pi Hahiroth, which is east of Baal Zephon, and they camped near Migdol. And they departed from before Hahiroth and passed over through the midst of the sea into the wilderness, went 3 days' journey into the wilderness of Etham, and encamped at Marah. And they departed from Marah and came to Elim. And at Elim were 12 springs of waters and 70 palm trees, so they camped there. And they departed from Elim and camped by the Sea of Reeds. And they departed from the Sea of Reeds and camped in the wilderness of Sin. And they departed from the wilderness of Sin and camped at Dophkah. And they departed from Dophkah and camped at Alush. And they departed from Alush and camped at Rephidim, and there was no water for the people to drink. And they departed from Rephidim and camped in the wilderness of Sinai. And they departed from the wilderness of Sinai and camped at Kibroth Hattawa. And they departed from Kibroth Hattawa and camped at Hatzeroth. And they departed from Hatzeroth and camped at Rithmah. And they departed from Rithmah and camped at Ramon Peretz. And they departed from Ramon Peretz and camped at Libnah. And they departed from Libnah and camped at Rissah. And they departed from Rissah and camped at Kehelah. And they departed from Kehelah and camped at Mount Shapher. And they departed from Mount Shapher and camped at Haradah. And they departed from Haradah and camped at Makaloth. And they departed from Makaloth and camped at Tahath. And they departed from Tahath and camped at Terah. And they departed from Terah and camped at Mithqua. And they departed from Mithqua and camped at Hashmanah. And they departed from Hashmanah and camped at Masaroth. And they departed from Masaroth and camped at Bnei Yaakan. And they departed from Bnei Yaakan and camped at Hor Hagadad. And they departed from Hor Hagadad and camped at Yoth Bathah. And they departed from Yoth Bathah and camped at Abrona. And they departed from Abrona and camped at Etzon Geber. And they departed from Etzon Geber and camped in the wilderness of Sin, which is Kadesh. And they departed from Kadesh and camped at Mount Hor, on the boundary of the land of Edom. Then Aharon the priest went up to Mount Hor at the command of Yahovah, and died there in the 40th year after the children of Israel had come out of the land of Mitzrayim, on the first day of the 5th month. Now Aharon was 123 years old when he died on Mount Hor. And the sovereign of Arad, the Canaanite, who dwelt in the south in the land of Canaan, heard of the coming of the children of Israel. So they departed from Mount Hor and camped at Salmanah. And they departed from Salmanah and camped at Punon. And they departed from Punon and camped at Oboth. And they departed from Oboth and camped at Lai Ha'abiram at the border of Moab. And they departed from Eam and camped at Dibon Gad. And they departed from Dibon Gad and camped at Almon Diblathema. And they departed from Almon Diblathema and camped in the mountains of Abarim before Nebo. And they departed from the mountains of Abarim and camped in the desert plains of Moab by the Yarden of Yericho. And they camped by the Yarden from Beth Yeshimoth as far as Abel Shittim in the desert plains of Moab. And Yahovah spoke to Moshe in the desert plains of Moab by the Yarden of Yericho, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, When you have passed over the Yarden into the land of Canaan, then you shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land from before you, and shall destroy all their engraved stones, and shall destroy all their molded images, and lay waste all their high places. And you shall possess the land and dwell in it, for I have given you the land to possess. And you shall divide the land by lot as an inheritance among your clans. To the larger you give a larger inheritance, and to the smaller you give a smaller inheritance. Wherever the lot falls to anyone, that is his. You inherit according to the tribes of your fathers. And if you do not drive out the inhabitants of the land from before you, then it shall be that those whom you let remain shall be pricks in your eyes and thorns in your sides, and they shall trouble you in the land where you dwelled. And it shall be that I do to you as I thought to do to them. And Yahovah spoke to Moshe, saying, Command the children of Israel, and say to them, When you come into the land of Canaan, this is the land which falls to you as an inheritance, the land of Canaan to its boundaries. Then your southern border shall be from the wilderness of Sin along the border of Edom, and your southern border shall be eastward from the end of the salt sea. Then your border shall turn from the southern side of the ascent of Akrabim, continue to Sin, and be on the south of Kadesh Barnea, and it shall go on to Hatzeradar, and continue to Atzmon. And the border shall turn from Atzmon to the Wadi of Mitzrayim, and shall end at the sea. As for the western border, you shall have the great sea for a border. This is your western border. And this is your northern border. From the great sea you mark out your border line to Mount Hor. From Mount Hor you mark out your border to the entrance of Hamath, and the edge of the border shall be toward Sedad. And the border shall proceed to Zephron, and it shall end at Hatzar Enan. This is your northern border. And you shall seek out your eastern border from Hatzar Enan to Shepham. And the border shall go down from Shepham to Riblah, on the east side of Ain, and the border shall go down and reach to the eastern side of the Sea of Kinnereth. And the border shall go down along the Jordan, and it shall end at the Salt Sea. This is your land with its surrounding boundaries. And Moshe commanded the children of Israel, saying, This is the land which you inherit by lot, which Jehovah has commanded to give to the 9 tribes and to the half-tribe. For the tribe of the children of Reuben, according to the house of their fathers, and the tribe of the children of Gad, according to the house of their fathers, have received their inheritance, and the half-tribe of Manasseh has received its inheritance. The 2 tribes and the half-tribe have received their inheritance beyond the Jordan of Yericho eastward, toward the sunrise. And Jehovah spoke to Moshe, saying, These are the names of the men who divide the land among you as an inheritance: Eleazar the priest, and Yehoshua son of Nun. And take 1 leader of every tribe to divide the land for the inheritance. And these are the names of the men: from the tribe of Yehudah, Caleb son of Jephunneh; and from the tribe of the children of Shimon, Shemuel son of Ammihud; from the tribe of Benjamin, Eladad son of Kislon; and a leader from the tribe of the children of Dan, Buki son of Yogi; from the sons of Joseph, a leader from the tribe of the children of Manasseh, Haniel son of Ephod; and a leader from the tribe of the children of Ephraim, Kemuel son of Shiftan; and a leader from the tribe of the children of Zebulun, Elitzaphan son of Parnak; and a leader from the tribe of Issachar, Paltiel son of Azan; and a leader from the tribe of the children of Asher, Ahihud son of Shalomi; and a leader from the tribe of the children of Naphtali, Pagahel son of Ammihud. These are the ones Jehovah commanded to divide the inheritance among the children of Israel in the land of Canaan. And Jehovah spoke to Moshe in the desert plains of Moab by the Jordan of Yericho, saying, Command the children of Israel that they shall give the Levites cities to dwell in from the inheritance of their possession. Also give the Levites open land around the cities. And they shall have the cities to dwell in, and their open land for their cattle, and for their herds, and for all their livestock. And the open land of the cities which you give the Levites are from the wall of the city outward 1,000 cubits all around. And you shall measure outside the city on the east side 2,000 cubits, and on the south side 2,000 cubits, and on the west 2,000 cubits, and on the north side 2,000 cubits. And the city is in the middle. This is to them the open land for the cities. And the cities which you give to the Levites are 6 cities of refuge, which you give to him who killed someone to flee to. And to these you add 42 cities. All the cities which you give to the Levites are 48, these with their open land. And the ones which you give are from the possession of the children of Israel. From the larger tribe you give many, from the smaller you give few. Each one gives some of its cities to the Levites, in proportion to the inheritance that each inherits. And Jehovah spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, When you pass over the Jordan into the land of Canaan, then you shall choose cities to be cities of refuge for you, that the one who accidentally kills someone shall flee there. And they shall be cities of refuge for you from the revenger, and the one who kills someone is not to die until he stands before the congregation in right ruling. And of the cities which you give, 6 are to be cities of refuge. Give 3 cities beyond the Jordan, and give 3 cities in the land of Canaan as cities of refuge. These 6 cities are for refuge for the children of Israel, and for the sojourner, and for the settler in their midst, for anyone who accidentally kills someone to flee there. But if he has smitten him with an instrument of iron, so that he dies, he is a murderer. The murderer shall certainly be put to death. And if he has smitten him with the stone in the hand, by which one could die, and he does die, he is a murderer. The murderer shall certainly be put to death. or if he has smitten him with a wooden instrument that could kill, and he does die, he is a murderer. The murderer shall certainly be put to death. The revenger of blood himself puts the murderer to death. When he meets him, he puts him to death. And if he thrusts him through in hatred, or throws an object at him while lying in wait, so that he dies, or in enmity he smites him with his hand so that he dies, the one who smote him shall certainly be put to death, for he is a murderer. The revenger of blood puts a murderer to death when he meets him. But if he pushes him suddenly without enmity, or throws an object at him without lying in wait, or uses a stone by which a man could die, throwing it at him without seeing him, so that he dies, while he was not his enemy or seeking his harm, then the congregation shall judge between him who killed someone and the revenger of blood, according to these right rulings. And the congregation shall rescue the one who killed someone from the hand of the revenger of blood, and the congregation shall return him to the city of refuge where he had fled, and he shall remain there until the death of the high priest, who was anointed with the set-apart oil. But if the one who killed someone at any time goes outside the limits of the city of refuge where he fled, and the revenger of blood finds him outside the limits of his city of refuge, and the revenger of blood kills him who killed someone, he is not guilty of blood, because he should have remained in his city of refuge until the death of the high priest. But after the death of the high priest, he who killed someone is to return to the land of his possession. And these shall be for a law of right ruling to you throughout your generations in all your dwellings. Whoever kills someone has to be put to death as a murderer by the mouth of witnesses, but only one witness does not bear witness against someone to die. And take no ransom for the life of a murderer who is guilty of death, but he shall certainly be put to death. And take no ransom for him who has fled to his city of refuge, to return to dwell in the land before the death of the priest. And do not profane the land where you are, for blood profanes the land, and the land is not pardoned for the blood that is shed on it, except by the blood of him who shed it. And do not defile the land which you inhabit, in the midst of which I dwell, for I, Yahovah, am dwelling in the midst of the children of Israel. And the heads of the fathers of the clans of the children of Gilad, son of Machir, son of Manasseh, of the clans of the sons of Joseph, came near and spoke before Moshe and before the leaders, the heads of the fathers of the children of Israel, and said, Yahovah commanded my master to give the land as an inheritance by lot to the children of Israel, and my master was commanded by Yahovah to give the inheritance of our brother Zelophehad to his daughters. Now if they are married to any of the sons of the other tribes of the children of Israel, then their inheritance shall be taken from the inheritance of our fathers, and shall be added to the inheritance of the tribe into which they marry, and taken from the lot of our inheritance. And if the jubilee of the children of Israel takes place, then their inheritance shall be added to the inheritance of the tribe into which they marry, and their inheritance taken away from the inheritance of the tribe of our fathers. And Moshe commanded the children of Israel according to the word of Yahovah, saying, What the tribe of the sons of Joseph speaks is right. This is the word which Yahovah has commanded for the daughters of Zelophehad, saying, Let them marry who is good in their eyes, but let them marry only within the clan of their father's tribe. And the inheritance of the children of Israel is not to change hands from tribe to tribe, for every one of the children of Israel is to cling to the inheritance of the tribe of his fathers. And every daughter possessing an inheritance in any tribe of the children of Israel is to be the wife of one of the clan of her father's tribe, so that the children of Israel possess each the inheritance of his fathers. Thus the inheritance is not to change hands from one tribe to another, but every tribe of the children of Israel is to cling to its own inheritance. As Yahovah commanded Moshe, so did the daughters of Zelophehad. For Mahlah, Tirzah, and Hoglah, and Milcah, and Noah the daughters of Zelophehad, were married to the sons of their father's brothers. And they were married into the clans of the children of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, and their inheritance remained in the tribe of their father's clans. These are the commands and the right rulings, which Jehovah commanded the children of Israel by the hand of Moshe in the desert plains of Moab, by the Jordan of Jericho. Jeremiah 2, 4 through 28, also 3, 4. Hear the word of Jehovah, O house of Jacob, and all the clans of the house of Israel. Thus said Jehovah, what unrighteousness have your fathers found in me, that they have gone far from me, and went after worthlessness, and became worthless? And did they not say, where is Jehovah, who brought us up out of the land of Mitzrayim, who led us through the wilderness, through a land of desert and pits, through a land of drought and the shadow of death, a land that no one passed through and where no one dwelt? Then I brought you into a garden land, to eat its fruit and its goodness. But when you entered, you defiled my land and made my inheritance an abomination. The priests did not say, where is Jehovah? And those who handle the Torah did not know me. And the shepherds transgressed against me. And the prophets prophesied by Baal, and walked after matters that did not profit. Therefore I still contend with you, declares Jehovah, and with your children's children I contend. For, pass beyond the isles of Kittim and see, send to Kedar, and observe well, and see if there has been any like this. Has a nation changed its mighty ones, which are not mighty ones? But my people have changed my esteem for that which does not profit. Be amazed, O heavens, at this, and be frightened, be utterly dried up, declares Jehovah. For my people have done two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, to hew out for themselves cisterns, cracked cisterns, which do not hold water. Is Israel a servant? Was he born in a house? Why is he given to plunder? The young lions roared at him, they growled, and made his land waste. His cities have been burned without inhabitant. Even the sons of Noph and Taphanes have shaven the crown of your head. Have you not done this to yourself by forsaking Jehovah your Elohim when he led you in the way? And now, why take the way to Mitzrayim to drink the waters of Shilor? Or why take the way to Ashur to drink the waters of the river? Your own evil instructs you, and your backslidings reprove you. Know therefore, and see that it is evil and bitter, that you have forsaken Jehovah your Elohim, and that my fear is not in you, declares the Master Jehovah of hosts. For of old you have broken your yoke and torn of your bonds, and you said, I am not serving you, when on every hill, high and under every green tree you lay down a whore. Yet I had planted you a choice vine, all of it a true seed. How then have you turned before me into the degenerate plant of a strange vine? Although you wash yourself with lye and use much soap, yet your crookedness is ingrained before me, declares the Master Jehovah. How do you say, I am not defiled, I have not gone after the Baals? See your way in the valley, know what you have done, a swift dromedary breaking loose in her ways. A wild donkey used to the wilderness, sniffing the wind in the desire of her being, in her time of mating, who turns her away. All those who seek her need not weary themselves. In her month they find her. Keep your foot from being bare, and your throat from thirst. But you said, it is useless, because I love strangers, and after them I go. As the thief is ashamed when he is found out, so is the house of Israel ashamed, they and their sovereigns and their heads, and their priests and their prophets, saying to a tree, you are my father, and to a stone, you gave birth to me. For they have turned their back to me, and not their face. But in the time of their calamity they say, arise and save us. But where are your mighty ones that you have made for yourselves? Let them arise, see if they can save you in the time of your calamity, because your mighty ones have become as many of your cities, O Yehuda. Shall you not from now on cry to me, my Father, you are the guide of my youth? Mark 11:12 through 25. And on the next day, when they had come out from Bethania, he was hungry. And seeing at a distance a fig tree having leaves, he went to see whether he would find any fruit on it. And when he came to it, he found none but leaves, for it was not the season for figs. And Yeshua responding said to it, Let no one eat fruit from you ever again. And his taught ones heard it. And they came to Jerusalem. Yeshua, entering into the set-apart place, began to drive out those who bought and sold in the set-apart place, and overturned the tables of the money changers and seats of those selling doves. And he did not allow anyone to carry a vessel through the set-apart place. And he was teaching, saying to them, Has it not been written, My house shall be called a house of prayer for all nations, but you have made it a den of robbers. And the scribes and the chief priests heard it, and they were seeking how to destroy him, for they feared him, because all the crowd was astonished at his teaching. And when evening came, he went out of the city. And in the morning, passing by, they saw the fig tree dried up from the roots. Then Kepha, remembering, said to him, Rabbi, look, the fig tree which you cursed has withered. And Yeshua answering said to them, Have belief in Elohim. For truly I say to you, whoever says to this mountain, Be removed and be thrown into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that what he says shall be done, he shall have whatever he says. Because of this I say to you, whatever you ask when you pray, believe that you receive them, and you shall have them. And whenever you stand praying, if you hold whatever against anyone, forgive, so that your Father in the heavens shall also forgive you your trespass.